In what has been a terrible year for optics for the mining industry, there has been another collapse at a mine operated by a Canadian company. The latest incident can be attributed to Jaguar Mining, who this past weekend saw a collapse occur at their Turmalina Mine in Brazil. And while there have been no injuries reported as of yet, it looks like the incident is still going to be very costly for the company, who strongly downplayed the impact of the incident. All right, guys, let's dive in. All right, let's start off with the high level. On Monday morning, Canadian junior mining investors were alerted to yet another story of a mine incident, when Jaguar Mining indicated that their gold operations at the Turmalina Mine in Minas Gerais, Brazil, had been put on hold following a collapse in the north wall of a tailings pile on site, referred to as Satinoko. Officially deemed as a slump by the company, the failure followed shortly after a visual inspection identified areas of concern on Saturday. After the visual inspection, employees at Turmalina notified Brazil's National Mining Agency, who then forced the suspension of activities at the mine and an evacuation of the surrounding areas. The bulletin issued by the agency stated that there was an imminent risk of a landslide after an anomaly was detected in a pile of tailings, while a later bulletin demanded an inspection of the entire area. An initial 67 residents of the nearby community of Casaquillo were evacuated from a total of 16 homes on Saturday, with those evacuated told that they had to leave their homes for at least 90 days. After the initial collapse at 9:30 a.m., the threat of additional landslides appears to have forced more from their homes, with Jaguar in their announcement indicating that a total of 134 residents have now been evacuated. The collapse is said to have caused no injuries, thanks in part to the company acting quickly in advance of the collapse, as well as the National Mining Agency forcing the evacuation of the local area. There are, however, still major problems for the company moving forward. Well, you may not know it from reading the company news release. The collapse of the Satinoko tailings pile was substantial. On site, the collapse of the pile of dry stack tails and waste rock is said to have impacted maintenance areas near the shop, outdoor storage areas, and piping that feeds the filter plant. It also covered an emergency escape exit from the mine. The collapse might be more damaging for the local town, however. As of Saturday, the collapse had hit a residence in Casaquillo as well as a gas station and warehouse. By Sunday, it was reported that 5 homes were hit by the landslide. Drone footage from local journalists show numerous structures, homes, and streets hit by the landslide, with varying degrees of damage. The National Mining Agency then updated a list of impacted items on Monday, indicating that 15,000 liters of diesel were housed at the impacted fuel station, while adding that an emulsion tank with 43 cubic meters of emulsion was also hit. However, no leak has as of yet been reported. Local Mayor Jose Casimiro Rodriguez was quoted as stating, "There really was a disaster here, but it was solid waste, not liquid. It didn't affect anyone. Only a few houses were affected. But the mining staff are taking all the necessary measures, providing all the support, but there is no major damage." But that commentary doesn't mesh well with others in the community, who claim that there has been little support from the company, with no company manager on site to address the situation, while residents also claim that the mayor is basically AWOL. The state civil defense, along with 6 other government agencies, meanwhile, have a team on site with a command post in the process of being established. And as per Carlos Pinto, coordinator of the Support Center for Environmental Protection Prosecutors, no injuries have yet been reported. It is unclear if charges are pending on the matter. However, Newton Cardoso Jr., a member of the Chamber of Deputies of Brazil and the son of a former governor of the state of Minas Gerais, has called for the creation of a commission that will monitor the investigation into the landslide. Okay, so let's back it up a bit here and provide some context. The Satinoko tailings pile, as well as the Turmalina Mine, are part of Jaguar Mining's MTL complex. The complex as a whole includes the Turmalina Gold Mine and processing plant, as well as 3 satellite deposits and an exploration project. And while the company appears to treat the mine as their flagship, it's actually second overall in production size, accounting for 38% of Jaguar's third quarter gold production at just under 6,500 ounces. Those ounces were produced at an average grade of 3.6 grams per ton, at an all-in sustaining cost of around $2,400 an ounce. In fairness, this high cost on a per ounce basis is related to the production of gold from a new zone, which was expected to drive success for the company into 2025. The complex, meanwhile, appears to be overbuilt for current operations, with the on-site processing plant capable of processing 3,000 tons of ore per day across 3 ball mill circuits. Only one circuit is currently in use, however, with the complex processing just 77,000 tons last quarter, which equates to less than 900 tons per day. Well, we obviously don't know what specifically this will cost Jaguar. It won't be a non-event on their books. On site at Turmalina, there are obvious costs, although the degree here is unclear. The company stated that certain structures and facilities were impacted, but not to what degree. In the worst case scenario, they will need to construct new maintenance areas and outdoor storage areas, replace piping to the filter plant, and excavate the emergency escape exit to the mine. And the problems within Casaquillo are undoubtedly larger. The company will need to remove the thousands of tons of waste rock and tailings that have now fallen upon the town, not to mention reconstructing the roads and replacing housing that was lost. They also have to pay for at least half the town to live in hotels for the next 90 days, or however long it's going to take to get things back to normal. And I'm not even mentioning the lawsuits associated with those who lost their homes or fines that might be levied by the government for the collapse, or even the environmental concerns for that matter. And for the record, Jaguar, or at least their local subsidiary, is on the hook for all of this. The agency, in making its Monday announcement related to the incident, laid this out plain as day, stating the company will be responsible for providing all necessary actions to ensure the stability of the pile, the safety of the mine, the surrounding community, and the environment. The actions include monitoring the pile and the underground mine, stabilization work, environmental control actions, and protection of the community involved, among other activities to be reported in the company's action plan. The ANM may also make specific demands throughout the monitoring of the entire process. And right now, the Brazilian government is taking tailings collapses pretty seriously. Just over a month ago, they finally reached a settlement with Vale and BHP related to a tailings dam collapse in 2015. That collapse, which killed 19 people, resulted in the two firms paying a collective $30 billion to the Brazilian government back in October. Let's wrap it up. So where does this leave Jaguar? Well, the company has said that timing of the resumption of operations at the mine is currently unknown, but it is expected that it will not be shorter than 1 month. And quite frankly, that timeline seems optimistic at best. With piping to the filter plant taken out, along with the on-site fuel station, plenty of work needs to be completed before operations resume. Of course, this also assumes that authorities will permit things to resume as they stand. Who knows if they'll require the company to focus its efforts on cleaning up the nearby town first. It's been a rough year for Canadian miners. The year started with a bang with SSR Mining's tailings collapse at the Koppler mine in Turkey. Then we had the Victoria gold disaster this summer, and now this. It's not exactly a good look. And these issues are only going to make it harder for the next generation of mines to begin production. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. If you have any thoughts on this event, please let us know in the comments section. Also, if you found this video helpful, please smash that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. All right, everybody, thank you for watching.